First Alert in this cleanup now. Aisha at the First Alert Safety Desk, and you have some important reminders as we get ready for even more spring storms.
Absolutely. There's more where that came from. We know more severe weather is right around the corner. Steve's been mentioning some more ice tonight. You may be checking your property for damages. There may even be tree branches, as you saw, all over your yard at the very least. And if you're looking around, safety experts want to remind you first, if you're looking for damage, make sure that you have the proper gear on. Long pants, long sleeve shirt, and sturdy shoes. We Energies and WPS also want to remind you about the dangers of down power lines. Overhead power lines can carry more than 500,000 volts. Touching one of those lines can provide a path for electricity to the ground and hurt or even kill you. We Energies says assume all power lines are energized and dangerous. Of course, stay away from down power lines at least 25 feet. They can be deadly even if they're not sparking or humming. Really important to stay away from anything touching the line, such as a tree, a fence, or a vehicle. And you'll want to call 911 or We Energies or WPS to report it. And remember to not touch someone being shocked by a down line. You could be hurt or even killed. Another good reminder from NWS about assessing damage around your property, whether it's now or in the future, stay out of damaged buildings. Also be aware of insurance scammers this season if you do have any damage at home or your business, guys.
All right, Aisha.